like that.
Enter in the name of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity.
My brothers, in accordance with the rules governing our order, and no important undertaking shall be commenced without asking the blessing of our great and exalted ruler of the universe. Let us pray. Brother Chaplain, lead us in prayer. Would you please stand? Almighty God, may thy blessing rest through all the years to come upon this hall, which has been this day dedicated to the uses and purposes of the Order of Elks. Grant that it shall be a source of inspiration of high ideals and of fine impulses in the life not only of this lodge, but of this city in which it is located as well. May we realize that in its dedication, an ideal has been established that must, day by day, be made a living and vital reality. As members of this lodge, actuated by the principles of the order, show forth the real and inspiring spirit of their obligation. May our patriotism be loyal, active, and unselfish. May our faith, inspired by the Bible, which rests upon our altar, be true and saving. May the antlers constantly remind us of our duty to our brothers. Give us strength and wisdom, we beseech thee, to carry out the high purposes we have undertaken. To thy glory and to the upbuilding of our great order, we ask in thy name. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. My brothers and guests, we are here assembled to dedicate this home to the uses of the benevolent and protective order of Elks. That which marks its distinctive purpose in the altar, which all Elks receive their obligation that binds together this fraternity. With us, it typifies neither sect nor creed, but is directed to signify our belief in the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. Therefore, the first duty before us is the erection of an altar consecrated to the great principles of our order. Esteemed Lady Knight, you will place the first stone emblematic of your station, charity.
In the name of charity, which means relief not only of a brother in need or sick, but in the broadest sense, a love of humankind. I place this stone and may the inscription upon it be the constant reminder of our duty to our fellow man.
Esteemed Loyal Knight, what is the contribution from your station?
The Bible, the book of law, on which is found justice. This station represents the justice which enables us to perceive the merits of others and our own shortcomings. A justice tempered and glorified by the twice blessed mercy which blesses him that gives and him that takes. In the name of the fraternal justice, I place this stone.
Esteemed Lecturing Knight, what is your offering to the construction of our altar?
Into the structure I build the stone of brotherly love, typifying the golden rule which says, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It is the color of the forget-me-not, helping us to remember that neither in absence nor in death can break the fraternal chain which unites the hearts of all good men.
Let a scarlet stone typifying eternal faith and devotion surmount and adorn this altar of fidelity, which unites and glorifies charity, justice, brotherly love, making them enduring parts in the fabric of our fraternity. But an Elks altar is not complete until it has received its honor guard in accordance with our practice. Esteemed Lady Knight, with what shall we guard this altar?
With the flag of our country, the emblem of freedom, symbol of unity, out of which the cardinal attribute of our order is charity.
place the flag of our country at the right of the altar. The American flag, wherever it floats, is a symbol of free life and of righteous government. Its colors belong to the earth, where the flowers bloom, into the skies where the stars shine. In all its dominion catches in its folds the light of morn, radiance of noon, and glow of sunset hour. It reflects them back with cheer and hope into the great depths of beautiful humanity. A beacon to guide us, a shield to defend us, may the virtues born in the flag be blended into the structure and enshrined in our hearts. May the sentiment of the flag be preserved in our fraternal and national life, perpetuated in all our institutions, to the end that charity may abound, and justice shall prevail, and that brotherly love and fidelity shall abide in the land. Esteemed loyal knight, which should be placed upon the altar?
Bible, book of law, on which is founded justice.
For Esquire, in accordance with the directions of the representative of the station of justice, you will place upon the altar the Bible and the book of law. Esteemed lecturing knight, which should be the final declaration of the altar?
The antlers, emblem of our order, significant of the protection afforded through brotherly love.
Brother Esquire, typify brotherly love, will surmount the altar with the antlers of protection.
Exalted ruler, I present you as a representative of the Grand Lodge the keys to this completed building, that you may declare the same dedicated to the use of our fraternity.
Brother Chairman and Associates, on behalf of the Grand Lodge of the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks, I congratulate you on the completion of your labors and success you have attained. Brothers are indebted to you for your efforts in every path. You must yourself feel the satisfaction which is inseparable from good actions successfully performed. like to call the chairman of the trustees to the altar, please. Brother Esquire, you will proclaim the dedication of this hall to the purposes of the Benevolent Protective Board of Elks and deliver these keys to the chairman of the board, to the trustees of this lodge, that they may be applied to such purposes.
My brothers, by the accordance with the order of the Grand Exalted Ruler, I declare this building dedicated in the name of charity, justice, brotherly love, and fidelity.
At this time, it gives me great pleasure to introduce Pastor and Exalted Ruler Raymond D. Arnold, who is with us today. I met Pastor and Exalted Ruler Arnold at the Denver Convention, and as I delivered my report to the lodge, the last lodge meeting on the trip to Denver, I just would like to emphasize the respect I have for not just Raymond D. Arnold, but all of the grand officers, their dedication. They travel a lot, give up a lot of their personal time, and we are deeply appreciative of having him with us today. He's been very helpful, very cooperative, in tying this together for us. So I would like to introduce Raymond D. Arnold.
It's been so long since I've used one of these, I've forgotten how. Exalted Ruler Rose, ladies, guests, and Brother Elks. It is a pleasure, an honor to be here today to say a few words to you and to introduce to you our grand Exalted Ruler. We've been looking forward to this for a long, long time. You know, you folks, I guess you must be awfully, awfully proud of the fine job, the great accomplishments that you've had over a long number of years. I didn't believe it when I took a look and saw the escalation in membership here in Ashtabula Lodge number 208. I looked at it and I said, oh, there must be a mistake. I checked it over, and it was high enough that you came in number 1 in the nation in Elkdom in percentage of membership increase. You know, maybe you say, well, what's that, number 1 in the nation? Well, number 1 in the nation in Elkdom means that out of 2,250 lodges, you were up there, number 1 at the head of that long list of lodges. Okay, that's a big accomplishment. Something else that happened, when you got that big increase in membership, you also made Ohio have an increase in membership that possibly it would not have had otherwise. And Ohio came in up at the top of the list. So you look over the years that, and you've had 94 years of Elkdom, and as I say, how proud you must be. You forged a strong link in our fraternal order of Elks. You know, Elks lodges are a little bit similar to maybe snowflakes. There are no two that are exactly alike. Each one is different. Each lodge reflects the personality, the character of its leadership and of its members. You know as well as I do, when you walk into a lodge, and I know you've done this before, in some lodges you feel right at home. You feel an atmosphere. You can't see it. You can't grab it. You can't bottle it. You can't do anything with it. It doesn't show up on a computer. But when you walk into that lodge, you feel the atmosphere of the lodge. You get a feeling of companionship. You get a feeling of friendliness. Once in a while, you may walk into a lodge where you turn around after a few minutes and you want to walk out and leave. This lodge your lodge is a kind of a lodge that when you come to it, it's a home away from home. The future of your lodge, this new building, is in your hands. The last one was back in 1909. Without any further ado, my brothers and ladies, I want to introduce to you our Grand Exalted ruler. You know what his accomplishments have been in Elkham, because on the program, they're all listed. However, this gentleman is a trial lawyer, has been a trial lawyer in litigation for about the past 35 years. He's one of the very top trial lawyers in the nation. Last year, he was the president of the Nassau County Bar Association, the largest bar association in the United States, 4,500 members. And he was the leader of that organization. Can you imagine one man getting 4,500 attorneys to agree on anything? He's a man of wisdom in the courtroom, knowledgeable about anything in Elkham, and a man, you know, there are three kinds of people in the world. There are those who make things happen. There are those who watch things happen. And then there are those who wonder what happened. Now, let me tell you, this gentleman here with you today, our Grand Exalted ruler, is a leader that makes things happen. And I can assure you, he is going to go down in the history of Elkham as one of our greatest Grand Exalted rulers. And without any further ado, from Hicksville, New York, Lodge, number 1931, our Grand Exalted ruler, Peter T. Affatato.
Thank you, past Grand Exalted ruler. Raymond. To our distinguished district deputy Grand Exalted ruler. To our fine young Exalted ruler and his group of outstanding young officers. To these distinguished past Grand Exalted rulers who have served the Grand Lodge so nobly over the years. To the ladies who have accompanied lovely husbands, and I'm going to tell you, these are lovely guys, because without them, this simply would not have happened. To all of you, I am extremely pleased and happy to be here in Ashtabula. Now, let me just place it exactly where it is. When I was told I was going to Ashtabula, Ohio, I said, get out the maps. Where is Ashtabula? I know that I'm going into Columbus. I know that I'm going to attend the Ohio State Oaks Association. But where is Ashtabula? So my secretary got out the map and he says, I'm afraid you better take yourself a heavy suit. It's right up there, right on the lake. I said, well, it must be a new lodge. He says, no, it's not a new lodge. The number is 208 and they're 95 years of age. And how pleased and privileged I was to come into this little bit of heaven here in Ohio, to see what you wonderful people have done to a lodge 95 years of age, which has contributed so much to the glorious history of Elkham in these United States of America. So I bring to you, my brother Elks and you lovely ladies, the greetings and the congratulations of over 1,550,000 elks across the nation. If only they could see, if only they could take a lesson from what has happened in Ashtabula, Ohio. It is inconceivable in the history and the records of Elkham that one lodge could have increased its membership so dramatically and so beautifully in only a matter of a year plus a few months. Now, I know that this building did not come easily. I know that you have had problems in the past, and I know that you do have an indebtedness. But as I look around this large room today, I not only see the workers out in the field, but I see the leaders of 208 assembled in this room this afternoon. I look at the Esquire, and I look at the leading knight, and the loyal knight, the lecturing knight, and your secretary, and this young exalted ruler, and I say, therein lies the success of Elkham. The young men of this community who have seen fit to join this lodge and to work for it, and for its impact upon the residents of Ashtabula. And then I turn and I greet those past exalted rulers who have given so much. Yes, my distinguished brother Elks, I mean this from the very bottom of my heart. Elkham is indebted to you, because not only have you seen fit to retain your active membership, but you are here, I understand, on a regular basis. I don't recall having seen a finer group of past exalted rulers that represent all age brackets, the varying philosophies of Elkham. And as I look at you, I say to myself, if only other lodges in this nation could have had the wisdom, the experience, and the dedication that Ashtabula enjoys from its past exalted rulers, what a great fraternity we would have. And I think I do owe each of you perhaps a state of the message from Elkham across the United States. Because in a very real way, you are in this large room today because something in Elkham has attracted you. You maintain your membership over the years because there was an ideal, there was a program, there was some type of venture in your community that you had a particular interest in and you wanted to continue to associate with. And so it is across America. Because the Elks of America are indeed in action. We have many problems throughout the entire country today, the least of which is the horrible assault upon the children of America from those who would traffic in drugs, narcotics, and alcohol. I am proud to tell you folks here today assembled that not only are we, the members of the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks, doing something about it, but we are leading the way across America. We are leading the volunteer organizations of America in this great drive, which has been started by our President and the First Lady. It was not 2 weeks ago. I, together with other members of volunteer organizations, was summoned to the White House. And collectively, we represented 15 million Americans associated in one organization or another, and we were told by the President of the United States that I need your help, my fellow citizens of this great nation. I need the volunteers out there in America to do the things that the Army cannot do, that the Navy cannot do, that the FBI is incapable of doing. I want you to spread word about this horrible danger, which is not only in our communities, but perhaps on the very block on which we live. And so your President has set about to fight this disaster, and it's just that. Because if it proceeds and if it accelerates, we members of this fraternity will not have a generation who follows. And so I am pleased to report to you here in Ashtabula that I have pledged on your behalf to the President of your country your undivided cooperation in spreading word into the homes and the communities of your area right here in Ashtabula about this horrible plague which takes our little children from us literally, turns them into an act, which is a destruction that no man could possibly justify. And yes, your order is playing a vital part in that great crusade, that great war, for that is precisely what it is. And I know that you are proud to hear of programs of that type. And as you speak to others who may be interested in joining this fine lodge, tell them that last year your fraternity contributed $64 million to various charitable programs across this great nation of ours. That 3 million youngsters were touched by the Hoochoo program and met in Indianapolis. A little 9, 10, 11-year-old put that basketball through that hoop, and how proud you would have been to have realized the impact of your membership in this fraternity upon the youth of America. And indeed, our committees in Grand Lodge are doing an excellent job. Our Americanism Committee is working day after day to make certain that the cherished rights that we enjoy as free people continue. Your Government Relations Committee works in the capitals of our states to make certain that whatever legislation is proposed is not detrimental to the ideals that we hold and that we love so dearly. And our Youth Activities Committee has spread into every community to provide recreation by way of Boy Scout, Girl Scout troops, bowling leagues, Little Leagues. And will we ever forget those veterans who are confined to a hospital? Because of their sacrifices, we are here today enjoying the beauty and the comfort of this magnificent lodge. And in so, but one moment, no man is capable of fully and completely describing the great fraternity that you gentlemen are members of and are so important to. So I have been told that you have waited a long time for the Grand Exalted ruler to visit Ashtabula. But I intend to pass along to my successors just a little word, perhaps if I may, or correct. If you possibly can, get on the good side of Rayana. Try to convince him to invite you to Ashtabula during your administration. For I promise you, my successors, that you will meet the finest people in the community, that you will meet outstanding, dedicated Elks, and that you will enjoy the comfort and the wonderful hospitality for which Ashtabula is known. So, Irene and I are so pleased to have had this very brief opportunity to be with you. We will head back to New York on the 6 o'clock plane. But the thrill and the enjoyment of being with you shall remain for a long time. I wish for each of you continued good health. I ask and I implore each of you to continue your interest in helping. Because, my brother Elks, and you lovely ladies, this is our fraternity. This is our order. The order we love and the order we work for. This is the great benevolent protective order of Elks, a brotherhood of American gentlemen who are determined to tell America, all America, that this is a brotherhood in action. God bless you one and all.
Thank you very much, Grand Exalted Ruler Affatato. Being in service, if you will, in Denver, the various programs you heard about today, it's awesome to understand how all the subordinate lodges can be combined, our efforts combined, I should say, to produce not just the monetary figures, but the action which gets done. And that's directly related to the leadership skills, gentlemen, we have here today. So it is a great honor to have not only Grand Exalted Affatato, and also past Grand Exalted Ruler Arnold here today. At this time, I would like to call upon our district deputy, G. Reminsky from Parma.
Grand Exalted Ruler Affatato, past Grand Exalted Ruler Arnold, and our young Exalted Ruler Jake. Brothers, and your lovely wives. I think one thing that we should look into is the structure of when you get to speak before a group like this. Because you know how difficult it is for a cabinet maker to follow a trained trial lawyer? Not even the same law. Sitting in the Grand Assembly yesterday at Columbus, I was mighty proud, very proud, because I am a part of the youth, belong to the Northeast North District, the state of Ohio. In closing, worked hard, like Brother Arnold said, in obtaining this membership drive, very, very successful. I have a trophy, a presentation made to you through your Exalted Ruler. It was given out of the meeting yesterday. Not only is it significant of being first in the district or the state, but in the country. And this is a very great, great accomplishment. My prayer is that you have God's guidance and His wisdom in the future to have the retention of this membership that you have gained. Work hard on this to retain these members in your roles. So it gives me great honor and privilege to present to the Ashtabula Lodge through Jake his trophy for first place, percentage, and net gain for 1985 and 1986 Lodge year with Charles C. Werner, City President. There also is another trophy here. It's called the E. Paul Howard Membership Trophy. It's given out to the lodge in Ohio every year that has the greatest in percentage gain. And once again, we all can be proud in the Northeast North District. Looking through this, there are quite a few names on there. There's Parma, Willoughby, Ashtabula, and Painesville. And there aren't that many years on this trophy, so we can be proud of our accomplishments here in the smallest district in Ohio, the Northeast North District. Now, along with this trophy, I'd just like to say, I hope you work hard again next year and are able to obtain this trophy once more, but you better have someone in the wing, some kind of a committee, to decide about building another building like this. In closing, I would just like to give a personal observation. That is the caliber and quality of people like Brother Affatato and Brother Arnold. I had the opportunity to meet all of the past grands that were at the Grand Lodge Convention in Denver. I've been in organizations, I've been around organizations, but I've never seen a group of men of their stature and caliber that are so earthy and sincere and dedicated to us and to this great order of which we represent. And not only do they concern themselves with anything major, but also the minor things too. I don't know if Brother Affatato reminded me to tell you, because I got a call this past week And my wife called me on the job, and she never calls me, never bothers me on the job, but it must have been important. And I called her back, and she said, Peter Affatato called you from New York, and you better call me. Right away, you know, what did I do wrong now? I haven't been in office for a month. But I called him, and it was a minor detail. I won't go into what it was. But to him, it was made enough that he wanted to make sure he covered all the bases for us, just so we could be proud of him and proud of the work that he does. This is the caliber that is leading our Grand Lodge today. I'm mighty proud to be associated with people like this. I hope to have a very, very successful year. I work for you. Anything that you might need, in my capacity, please don't hesitate to call. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dean. And as a young, I like that, as a young, very young Exalted ruler, and I'm serious when I say it's very reassuring to know that your district deputy is there when you need him. And as he told us last night, we were talking in Columbus, and he's there for us and for our lodge, and that is very reassuring because he has many years of wisdom, and he will aid us in any way that he can. At this time, I'd like to call upon past Exalted ruler, trustee, chairman of the building committee, cameraman, Jeff Moore. Jeff.
Grand Exalted ruler, past grands, district deputy, past district deputy officers and members and guests and ladies. What were you saying about where you end up on the schedule? We've come a long way. And I'll be very honest with you, I've had no problem standing up here and asking you for money, but I got a problem standing up here today, a little bit nervous. It's finally to the stage where it's half over. Back in, I believe it was right around 1982, there were two trustees at that time that saw the shape that we were in. They saw the building, unfortunately, coming down around them. They saw the debt that would be incurred if we had to repair the lodge that we love so much. And these two trustees were walking across 5th Street down Ashtabula Harbor. One trustee turns to the other one. He said, you know what? We could build another lodge. All we need is 30 guys with 10 grand apiece. And no problem. Those trustees were my father-in-law, Louis Simon, and Merle Peter. Merle turned to Louis and said, yeah, right, where are we going to find, 30 guys with $10,000? Well, we did find two. The rest came the hard way. And like I did say, we're halfway there. This project has not been an easy one. And for me, probably the hardest thing that myself had to do was to shut down the boys' club in Ashtabula. That's what we were. That was our second home. Very little to me, because I was young in the group. But to a bunch of the old timers, and I'm sure they don't mind being called that was home. Every single day, Nels Orange would be standing at the bottom of the stairs, working his way up. John Zabak, Carl Cheney, Jones would be coming in, Harry Shepard, Ed Shepard. See a couple other ones down there that have been in there. They'd be coming in every single day at noon, and they'd be heading to their table, and they'd be playing cards. That was home. That's what we were shutting down. That was not easy to do. What we had to look at is, where are we going to go for the next 100 years? That building provided us with security, fun that we'll never talk about, lodge ceremonies that we respected so well, but we had to have someplace to go. We had to have someplace for our kids. When I was a little kid, I stood out here, walked down the rickety stairs, and couldn't swim in the water because the stones were there, and I was content to stand on the beach. Well, today we can show our kids the lake because the beach disappeared 3 weeks ago. It wasn't an easy job. There was many people that helped us along the way to get us where we are today, and please remember we're not done. Pete Ewins, I turn to him every once in a while and say, hey, Pete, we want to do this, we want to do that, what's proper? He would say, well, Jeffrey, he said, you're going to have a rough road. And he'd give me some help. And it definitely wasn't easy. I'd always turn to John Zabak. It took me a while to get under his wing, but I think once we got there and we realized we were both heading in the same direction, he helped me too. My part was an easy part. I had to be the mouth for a bunch of guys that wanted to start over. And I had to be the guy that tried to get it across to you, the members, where we wanted to go, what it was going to take to get there. It was going to take money. That wasn't easy to do. We started a building fund. That building fund is not over. We're nowhere near where we got to be yet, but it is started. Some of the members that have given, and we don't have that list up there on that brass wall done yet. There's some missing there that have given us some money, but some of them are on that wall, and we're going to continue that wall. I believe there's 148, Bob Bridle, 148 plates on there that we put on yesterday. There's a few more to go on that have contributed towards their pledge. And we hope that someday we'll have at least, I won't say 1,700, let's shoot for 1,600 people that gave towards this building. When Merle Peter and Louis Simon walked across Fifth Street and said, no, all we need is 30 guys with $10,000, all we're saying now is we need 1,700 guys with $200. And the whole thing's paid for. After they got that idea kicking around, I was ER in 1983, and we formed, then under George Marcello, the building committee. George assigned the building committee, naming myself, Frank Pale, Bill Morrow, Dick Flower, Tom Stowe, Louis Simon, and Merle Beater to the building committee. It was 1984, and every one of these individuals is aged 20 years. Dick Flower sitting back there smirking. He's the one that kept us in line with little tidbits on what's proper, and rightfully so. It was Dick Flower that went up and measured the Exalted ruler station and made sure that we had a place of honor for it, and it's not done yet. Our hope is to have a set of curtains that we can draw back here to place the old Exalted ruler station in a place of honor. Dick measured, he took pictures of everything that we had, and he kept us in line. And I know for sure, I'm not going to remember all the people that helped out, but there's a few people that really kept us on the straight and narrow. The thing that we got to think about is this lodge is a very old lodge, and we've moved real fast. 1 year ago today, Ronnie Keister was here with his equipment, setting up these walls. And we're here, we're home, we've been here since December 12th. We broke all construction records, and we built a new place to stay. I regress just a minute. We raised a little over $107,000 in pledges in the city of Ashtabula. We fought. Every group in this town has said that you people are not going to build that building here. And we won. I don't see her here today, but Janet Vettel from First Federal is the one that stuck by us and came through with enough legalese and mixing of our figures and their figures to come up with a $225,000 loan on top of another $225,000 loan. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here today. Somebody believed in this club. That was the bank that did it. Today, and I can't knock them, but today, the other banks are saying, yes, you people have proved that you are a viable business in this community in addition to the good we do and the lives that we are. And now they're standing there ready to help us. But we did have to prove ourselves, and you guys can be proud of your officers. They've done that. One thing that I've said right along, and that is, you are standing in the house that Joe built. Our general contractor, Joe Dragon, I'll tell you what, he's put up a lot of projects for a lot of clubs, a lot of organizations. But I'll bet he's never got nicked so bad as he got nicked by us. Joe Dragon, who is in the crowd here, offered his guidance in putting together this building, his experience, his expertise. He chewed us out a few times. We tried to jump a little bit too fast. But Joe really helped us. And Joe, if you come up here just a minute. One thing that we did here, I'd like to mention is, not only did we build a new lodge, but in Ashtabula County, we put in a restaurant and a club facility that hired, and it varies, but it's right around 29 to 35 new employees in this county that weren't working before. That's an interest to us. That's an interest to us in our community. I'm sure it's an interest to Representative Boggs, who's here today. He's been here several times. I'm sure he's interested in what we've done as an addition to Ashtabula County. Joe, come on. I know this guy. No. First of all, Joe, the lodge is going to place in the front lobby this plaque that says, in appreciation of the main contractors who helped in their own way to make this lodge possible. That's Joseph Dragon and Sons, Marine Electric, Precision Pipe, and H.J. Ziegler. These are the main contractors. There are those other ones, the subcontractors that work with them. But these are the main people that help put this operation together. Joe, this one will be placed in the front lobby. Now, we're not going to let you go. On behalf of the Benevolent and Protective Order of Elks number 208, we'd like to present Joe with this certificate that says, Certificate of Appreciation. Let me know that Joseph Dragon has performed outstanding service for the Ashtabula Elks Lodge number 208, and is awarded on this date as an expression of appreciation of outstanding service to this lodge. Thanks, Joe. We appreciate it. Exalted ruler, I told you that I would take 10 minutes. I'd probably use that up. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. I think you made a very good point when you talked about the walls. We do have a physical plant, and I would just like to leave with the thought that the Elks goes beyond a physical plant. It's a philosophy, it's a spirit, and it's something we will try to continue the best we can under the direction of our Grand Lodge. It's a lot of work, but it pays a lot of benefits. You would, like I said, when the people that are behind me have a chance to attend the Grand Lodge and see the contributions made to the United States, to individual communities, it's very impressive, and it's a lot of work. I'd like to certainly thank following groups and following people for all their help. The PERs, for their guidance, suggestions, and I mean that sincerely. A lot of experience, and I appreciate, and so do the officers, trustees, all of your input. To the officers and trustees, thank you for all your help today and all year. A special thank you to past District Deputy John Zabak, past Exalted Rulers Fred Lakeman, and Harry Shepard for putting the program together. Appreciate all your work. Special thanks to past District Deputy Pete Hewins, who helped coordinate this event and helped with the invitations, donated the invitations, but also helped make sure we invited the right people, all the people, and I do appreciate that guidance. Special thanks to our Ladies Elks Association for all their help. As soon as the dedication is over, we have the Good Life Singers, and we have a number of other activities going on today, culminating in a dance this evening from 6 to 9. I would like to thank them, Donna, for all your help in coordinating this. Thanks to Jane Chubb for stepping in the organ. Our organist, Gary Miller, had a slight problem and wasn't available today, but we appreciate her very short notice stepping in and helping with the organ. To all the members, appreciate all of your help, and to our distinguished guests for being here to share this with us, our sincere appreciation. And last to my wife, Amy, because I'm laughing because she did a lot of the last minute details that I didn't have time for, and I didn't really give very good directions for details, and she had to kind of read between the lines, and I appreciate everything you've done. The Exalted Ruler, Grand Exalted Ruler, has extended invitation. He will be seated at, I believe, near Royal Knight, place where you can write. We'll sign any member's card, come up after, and he will gladly sign your card for you. With that, we'll move to the end of the ritual. My brothers, the duty for which we have been summoned, having been performed, now therefore, I, under the authority of the Grand Lodge of the Benevolent Protective Order of Elks, I declare this to be an Elks Lodge Room, which shall be taught and perpetuate in perpetuity grand objects of our order. And before we close the ceremony, I would like to call upon the Grand Exalted Ruler, past Grand Exalted Ruler Arnold, District Deputy Gene Raminsky, our trustees, for ribbon cutting. Since we really technically weren't a lodge room before this dedication, we've now closed the door out and put a ribbon over the door, and we'd like them to cut the ribbon, please. I now declare the lodge dedication closed in due form. Thank you.
Got one?